it's amazing having your own and being independent. But I think all a female really wants is to be able to thrive in her feminine energy.
I'm going up. I know it's necessary because I feel like I'm body enough. I've been stuck, been here since February, man. I feel like the timing is up. Got me like, bruh, do what the fuck. I know you ain't using your noggin for nothing. Now it's a rush. You better get off of your ass. You ain't got the profit for lunch.
Alrighty, and we are back here with the one and only great Nessa. And this is going to be our part 2 of our video. And yeah,
let's just dive right back into it.
Yeah, dive right back into it.
Introduce her again. Finances.
So this is Nessa Cartagena. She's financial planning for Northwestern Mutual, finances, life insurance, all that good jazz. So my first question is like, how much would it cost for like me to come see you?
That's a great question. That's probably the question that I get asked most often is, okay, this all sounds great, and I really think I, would like your advice and help. How much does it cost to meet? I always tell people it costs nothing to meet with me. I'm not a fee-based advisor. I choose not to run my practice that way because I don't really see value in running a practice as fee-based where I'm charging people by the hour when really people are just most interested in learning first. You know what I mean? And so I'm not a fee-based advisor. You'll never be charged for the time that we spend meeting. I actually get compensated on the back end by my company, Northwestern Mutual, if you chose to do anything in your plan that I might recommend.
All right. Sounds good. And like, how do we find out obviously we could just probably give you a call and stuff for your availability and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I actually, I make my own schedule. I book my own meetings. So anybody who is interested in booking a meeting, can just feel free to reach out. Reach out and we'll look at the calendar together and just find a convenient time for us to, just schedule a 30-minute phone call just to, tell you a little bit more about it and basically see if it's a right fit. You know what I mean? See if this is something that you'd want to, pursue and learn more about.
And
sounds good.
You don't have to be 45 with a 100K base salary job. You could start off just working a normal job and just, to come get some financial advice from you. Which is great, and I advise everybody watching to do that. To go see her,
100%.
Check her out.
And we'll have her website, all that Instagram, phone number, all that good stuff below. Instagram. And so you could contact her for her availability if you ever want to meet with her. And yeah, it'll be perfect. Yeah. And she'll get back to you as soon as possible.
I just wanted to touch on that, what you said, like, you don't have to make a lot to start. That's so true. Like, you don't have to. It doesn't matter how much you make. It matters how much you keep. And so that's another thing. Like, people are like, oh, when I make more money, I'll come to you. And it's like, no, you're just going to spend more. As you make more money, that's what happens. It's something called lifestyle inflation. People make more money thinking, oh, I'm going to make more money, so I'm going to be able to save more. They just find other ways to spend it. And ultimately, never start actually planning. So start now. That's probably my best advice.
And just a good question I just thought of, discipline. You have to be very disciplined when it comes to your money, obviously.
Sure.
It looks like I'll have 2 meetings after this.
Definitely. So when you're going into planning these, it's basically based upon them. You just give the advice, and then it's their job to fulfill it and everything.
So there's some parts of the plan that I will help you implement, and then there's other parts where you would do on your own. So for example, if we're talking about, saving, setting up, putting money in your savings every paycheck, that's something that you're going to do on your own, which I know a lot of people struggle with that, the discipline. I always tell people, set up automatic transfers from, your checking to your savings every single time that you get paid. Or some people can even set up a portion of their paycheck to go directly to their savings account. So I always tell people, automate anything that you can to make your life easier so you're not having to think about having to do this stuff. It's getting done for you. And that's the same thing, anything that we do together, such as investments, insurance, or, like IRAs and stuff like that. Anything that we do together is also going to be automated. We're going to make sure that, because this is about building healthy, habits with money. And so in general, the more that you do it, you're not going to think about it. It becomes easy. You know what I mean? You don't even realize that the money's getting taken out of your account because it's automated. I don't realize mine. I look at my bingo, I'm like, oh, my stuff just came out. I didn't even know. I don't feel it. And that also makes it easier. You're like, oh, I didn't even feel that. Yeah, I could probably do some more. right? But that takes time, you know what I mean? So it's just about like, walking before we run, starting small. And then over time, as you're like, yeah, I didn't even know that that was coming out of my account, didn't even realize it, was still able to do everything else that I wanted to do. Yeah, I could probably do a little more. I challenge people, if you think you can do more, do more. So, yeah.
I actually like the walk before you run thing because I feel like definitely in our age, a lot of people are quick to go. Once they get, the thing is, I feel like we get into a trap because we got the new car. We'll get a new car. We'll get, like, even if we get a pay raise, we'll go get a better car. We'll go get a nicer apartment, and it keeps us
in
levels
this, up to the same thing that you're
not really getting ahead at all.
Like she said, lifestyle inflation. And
yeah.
I recommend, like Kareem said, and she said before, like, you don't have to be older or 100K job. I actually recommend if you're straight out of high school to go to learn immediately because, like, that's when you need it the most is in the beginning.
It's starting good habits.
Yeah, it's starting
now.
good habits. Like, even if you're younger, I recommend giving her a call because, like, like I said, that's the most important time, I feel like. Because once you got to start young, once you do know this, you just keep going. It's a journey.
Yep.
It's a lifestyle journey.
Exactly.
And you just keep growing from there and you learn and learn
yep.
from there. So it's
Yep.
like you're just becoming wiser with your money and with what you're doing with your money as well. So, like,
Yep.
that's a key thing that I do recommend.
So you're well about. I see, like, finances, you got it. Besides financials, what, like, I want to get a little bit deeper into your not personal life, but what do you do? So anything else you have a passion for besides, like, or, you know what I mean?
I would just say, like, I love, like, hanging out with my friends and family. Like, passion-wise, I mean, I like going to the gym. I like reading books, but I don't know. I just like to be surrounded by good people, good energy. Like, I love to laugh.
Yeah.
You know me. I love to laugh.
Yeah.
So anybody that could just, like, make me laugh and, like, just make my days, like, better, like, that's it. I like to be around people like that and stuff.
So well balanced, very well balanced.
Yeah, on the outside of finances, like, what's your goal in, like, spreading to everyone, like, whether that's love or education, whatever it may be, but, like, what's your, like, main goal in life, like, your number one goal?
My main goal is just to really just, like, I don't know, impact as many people as possible, whether that's having a simple, I don't know, just conversation with them, regarding their personal life, or even if it's not their finances. I just want to, like, touch as many people as possible. And that, I would say, that's my main goal. And I just want people to, when they think of me, think of, she was there for me when I needed her, or, the things that I was able to do for their family, or help them accomplish for their family. Like, I want people to think of that stuff,
Sorry, we're jumping everywhere right now, but I was just thinking this is a great idea and a great opportunity to do this because when we do our podcast, we try to be broad, but we only could give a male's aspect to a lot of things because, you know what I mean?
And you're our first female guest.
First female guest up here,
100%.
and you seem like, I love your mindset, and you seem to have a great things going for you as females, and it's empowering. We were just talking about that. We ain't even released that yet, but we were just talking about empowered women,
right?
On podcasts.
And I love this.
There's a split between men and women in today's society.
Yep.
What do you think is causing that split, and how we try to answer it ourselves, but we only could give a male perspective, and how to fix the split between?
So I would say, it's kind of a little bit of two questions. So I would say the cause of the split between, like, males and females in today's society is that, honestly, I feel like females are stepping into more masculine roles in a way, and in general, me as a female, like, I was just talking about about this with my friends. As a female, I'm very independent, and I think it's super important that as females we're independent, because I don't ever want, especially finances, but I don't ever want me depending on somebody else to be the reason that I stay in an environment or in a relationship that I'm not happy in, right? So I think it's really important that everybody has, their own things, you know what I mean? But I would say that, a lot of times, like, because I think, honestly, and this is how I feel as a woman who does have, a lot to offer, I think men get a little intimidated by me because they can't meet me at my level. And, you know, I don't know, I keep it pushing. You know what I
as you
mean?
should.
Honestly.
But it's like if you, as a female, you know, I think all we really want, yeah, it's amazing having your own and being independent, but I think all a female really wants is to be able to thrive in her feminine energy. Like I think, you know, being able to just you know, actually like, you know, come home and cook for somebody and light a candle and like do things for a man, you know, that you know, females should be doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's what a female really wants is for a male to be able to bring out that feminine side of her where she's not, you know, constantly picking up the tab, constantly being the one driving, constantly being the one, you know, picking up where he lacks. It's like, you know, in general, we just want somebody that, you know, we can count on to, in general, like, I always tell people, like, I want to be able, you know, I want to be able to say that you got me like I got you. You know what I mean? And not that we need each other in a way, not that I need you, but if you know, if it came to it, I could count on somebody. That's what I think females really value, and they value security and just being able to trust somebody to lead. A female is gonna be like submissive to a man that she can trust to lead. And you know, if she can't trust you to lead and be a provider and stuff like that, she's not gonna want to cook dinners for you and do things for you like that, because you know, you're not showing her that you can be a leader.
I think we hit that because that was great because we hit it right on the nail. We just talked about that. We were talking about how the split is between, yes, female are stepping into more of a masc energy, but men are also stepping into more of a femme energy, and not like embracing their alpha. Like I said, that men have to be more alpha for the female to be submissive and to let him lead. But today the roles are getting switched, and that's
where like men are not really as much in themselves. They're more looking for validation outside.
Yeah.
Like men, and now women are becoming one with themselves and not looking for validation outside. So the roles are kind of switching where men are becoming more femme in an aspect, whereas that they're not as masculine as within themselves, like being an alpha, doing what they have to do. Now they're like, damn, do you like me? Can you say, do you think I'm cute? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and it's, it should, not that it should be the other way around, which I love the woman empowerment, which was, both men and women should be empowered. Yeah. But there's a way where you can live in both of the yin and yang of both can be independent, both can be alpha. You can be alpha women and still be with alpha.
That's actually the best, I think.
And it's the best part of relationship is having two that are truly one with themselves and not living in a world with love without detachment. Love with detachment, I mean. Not with attachment. Because when you start attaching your love onto outer things, which I feel like men are doing now, if they have a nice watch, if they have a nice car, that's what like men think about, because that's how women used to, or are like, it's, you know, money based, like finance based is what they see men as mostly. But then even if you don't have the finances, you need to be one with yourself. Right. Because like, for example, you know what I mean? Like, I can have $1 million and still be the most insecure person ever. Right. You know what I mean? But then there's people, I have nothing right now, and I feel like I'm very confident and I'm an alpha male in my own life. Right. And not nothing as in like nothing, but like compared to like billionaires and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And it's like, you need to empower yourself, and then you can be empowered in a relationship with someone else. Right. You know what I mean? So what do you think is like a main aspect or some advice you would give to males to have, you know, that masculine energy inside, but also be vulnerable with themselves? Because I feel like that's also a thing in a relationship where men sometimes are too egoic or too alpha, like that they become who you going out with. Oh, I don't want you going out with him.
No, that's not stepping into your alpha though. That's just insecurity. Like, that's a deeper form of insecurity.
But that's where you need vulnerability inside of you, like. They're not even vulnerable. Like, men don't even, like, they think it's a bad thing to cry. Like, just be vulnerable, just to talk to her as a human being and say how they really feel. Like, a lot of men don't do that. A lot of men was just like, no, I'm good. Like, you know what I mean?
And I see that so much, even in my industry. I see a lot of men not wanting to talk to me because they have so much ego and pride, you know? Like, they're like what can I'm not taking advice from a girl. Yeah. Like, first
Yeah,
of
it's
all,
crazy.
like, you know what I mean? Like, so I see a lot of that, like, in general. This is a difficult one to answer. It's just like, I never got asked this one before. But I would say, like, men, in general. Could you repeat your question a little bit, sure?
So, like,
You talked about, like, ego
what
and
would be
vulnerability.
some advice or some things men can do where they can move away from more the egoic alpha into more of like within themselves alpha, where a true alpha where they can
Okay.
coexist with the female
Okay.
alpha, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Instead of
So
yeah.
I would say, like, definitely just like building confidence. That's one thing that I see so much. Like you said, like, a lot of men these days are very, like, insecure, and they seek validation from other people. And I think you're right. Like, the tables are turning where now females aren't seeking validation
No.
anymore.
Now they're becoming one with themselves.
Yeah, like, it's like, it kind of, in general, it's like, it's always like this chase thing, you know what I mean? But in general, like, now it's more the men having to do more of the legwork if they want to, like, take a girl out or something like that, you know what I mean? And as it should be, though. I think that's a good thing. But
I disagree.
so you think that women should be asking men out?
I want to say asking men out, but all right. So this is my thoughts upon it. I think a true alpha, he attracts females. So he doesn't have to go out his way to get females. Females naturally are attracted to him.
And that's,
like,
I think, how it is with girls too.
yeah.
100%. It goes both ways.
It goes both
Definitely.
ways.
If you're attractive female in the club or something like that, you're gonna have a lot of guys coming up to you. But if you're an attractive guy, nah, it's actually.
I think
I
think it's okay for them to pursue a female. Not every female. Like, obviously, alphas aren't gonna go pursue every female.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
They see, because they look at their time as more value. But I feel like once the communication starts, there's more of a chase from the female than it is from the guy. Because usually, a lot of the times, if you're a real alpha, like, your time is scarce a lot of times. Same with females, but you're more focused on, because as a leader, you have to focus on what's next, what do you have to do, like, how are you going to get
Right.
to your next step. And that's where I say I don't even believe in dating when you're so young. Like, I give your 20s time to
I agree.
You gotta learn who you are. First.
Go
You know what
learn
I mean?
about
Totally.
yourself and go
But
pursue your goals and stuff before you get into the dating realm. Because when you get into the dating realm, you start having to worry about time with this person,
Yep.
what to do with, you know what I mean?
That-
It
that
becomes
is-
a joint thing.
that is true. Although, like, in a relationship, you learn a lot about yourself. You can learn a lot about who you really want to be, who you want in a partner.
What you really
so
want,
I think
yeah.
you're smart not to take it too serious, but definitely date. Definitely go out there and date and have relationships, because then you're gonna know, all right, what do I want in a partner and who do I want to be in a relationship?
Okay, I said that wrong. I don't believe you should be dating if
Not
you're not in a space, if you're just in a space where you're not where you need to be. Like, you should only be dating if you have
if you
things.
focused on yourself and if you have yourself, if you're good within yourself. I
Yeah.
like it. If you're
Right.
good within yourself, vulnerable, also in the egoic and the alpha way, in all types of ways, then I think you should start looking for dates. But if you're like not really sure within yourself, it's just gonna leak into
Yep.
everyone you meet.
It's
Not
gonna-
only
yep.
relationships, but friends, family, everything,
Yep.
everything. So
Oh my God.
that's a great point as well.
Completely agree with that.
Yeah.
I think if you don't know who you are, it's really about, like, I have a little bit of experience with relationship, like, a long relationship, and I just think being alone has taught me so much about myself. I thought I could never be alone. I was like, oh my God, like, how am I gonna live my life?
Yeah.
Because we become so codependent on people. And yeah, being alone has taught me so much about myself. And I think it's really, truly important for you to be happy first by yourself. You don't need validation from you shouldn't need validation from other people. You shouldn't need to hear somebody, or, have a good morning text every day, or, have somebody, like, feeding your ego or your, you know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't even need that. And once you get to a point where you know that you don't need that validation from outside people, like, you become really powerful.
That's when you become the alpha.
Like,
when you don't need.
And it's like, it's awesome because I feel like I'm getting to that point where I I feel really powerful. I feel more like, wow, like, you know, my life is what I make it, and it's what I'm making it. And in general, like, nobody can stop me. And I'm, you know, I'm just in this time of my life where everything's all about me. And it's good to be selfish in our 20s.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
we're
I believe
young.
it.
Like,
you
we
need
should
to be
be.
selfish in
And
these times.
and I just think everything happens for a reason. You know what I mean? And in every season of life, like, we're able to learn more about ourselves. But I definitely think, like, in your 20s, like, now that I am in the position that I am, where I am single, I'm like, I'm learning so much about myself. And I'm also learning a lot about what I like and don't like when it comes to, like,
Exactly.
you know, a partner and a future husband. I'm learning a lot about, like, you know, in general, what I am really going to value in somebody. And it's really interesting. It's a nice, it's just interesting to really get to, like, learn yourself, things about
Yeah.
yourself that you never even knew.
And it's
I think everybody needs to be, and now that I'm experiencing it, I'm like, I think everybody needs to be single in their 20s.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
you know, learn your, you know,
because
learn what you're passionate about. You know what I mean? Learn yourself. You know what I mean? And don't seek validation from others. Like, be your own happiness, and others are gonna attract to
Yeah.
that. That's it.
and the
I know.
world is gonna attract to
Right.
exactly your state of mind.
Right.
And that way, also, like, when you become yourself and you figure out who you are, that's how you present yourself. So you don't have to put up a front just to go try to attract this female or man. You don't gotta
Exactly.
put it. You could be.
You are that person
you know what I
already.
mean? Yeah, you know what I mean.
Right.
And it was cool because I just did a reel that said the best relationships are when two independent people come together and coexist.
Yeah.
And I
Yep.
believe that's, like, key to relationships, because when you have codependency, it kind of makes you feel like you need that person, when in
Right.
all reality, it's all on you. You just have to
Right.
coexist and be happy together. It's supposed to bring more happiness when you're with somebody like
and
that.
and it should, being in a relationship also should make your life easier.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, not hard.
relationships should not make your life hard. So, you know, in general, like, knowing what you bring to the table is super important. Knowing what you value in a relationship or in a person is super important. You know, having good communication, all that stuff. But just yeah, relationships should not be hard. Like, it should feel like you're not trying. And I think that's also, like, really important to, like, for people to notice. Is that, like you said, like, you should be able to just coexist. Like, it should feel natural. You know, you not even like you're going out of your way, because it's just
It's just
it
what
just
you're doing.
works,
Yeah.
you know.
Exactly.
Okay. Oh, sorry, not to cut you
Go
off,
ahead.
but just because camera, why do you think that is the case on a deeper sense? I just want to see your opinion, and I want you to give your opinion, and then
Why I
we'll close
think
out.
men are intimidated by me?
Or yeah, that's a great question.
I think men are intimidated by me in general, just because they know I give off this aura, honestly, like, you know, and they know what I bring to the table. It's pretty clear. You know, look at the material, respectfully.
Yeah.
Like, and I think they know that they can't meet me there, or they're not at my level, and so, you know, they get
I
nervous.
agree. No, I agree. Like, I remember when I was younger and I used to get intimidated.
and
like,
you
like
knowing
with-
your worth, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
When you know
Yeah.
your worth, like, it scares people. It
Yeah,
scares
for
people.
real. Because I give you a perfect example. Like, for example, a guy comes into you, he's like, "Oh, I'm not taking my advice from an old girl." I'm not like,
Mm-hmm.
you know why? Because you're more masculine than them.
Yep.
That's why.
Yep.
That's why they're intimidated, because you're more independent, you're more alpha, you're more masculine, and you're.
I want to say
I mean, like, masculine energy where independency,
Yeah,
and, you know,
yeah.
alpha.
And that,
Not
like-
masculine, like, you're like, yo, what's
like,
good?
like,
but you know what I mean?
Like, I don't need them tight.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know?
You're
And that's
independent.
when men realize, like, yo, this girl doesn't need me at all. If she doesn't need me as an investment, she doesn't need me as a friend or partner, anything. She's
Right.
good no matter what. And that's what intimidates men, because men look for that kind of, like, they want you to be attached to them. In
They
want to
feel needed.
They want to feel needed. They want to feel validated. And that's where the conversation before comes, where now women are one within themselves. They're having the alpha energy, and now men are, like, low-key looking for even more validation than before. Like, they're really not trying to be, like, an alpha. Now they're just like, all right, who can give me validation? Where can I seek the validation? Where
Yep.
can I get it?
Yep.
And that's what they're looking for in
and
a
then
partner.
as soon as they get it, like that little,
Yeah, and that's when they look for a
validation real quick,
partner.
then it's like, oh,
And-
okay,
and-
back to normal.
Yeah, but that's why it's so important to figure who you out now in your 20s, because you're going to be 40, still not thinking you're enough, leaking to an extremely toxic and
Yep.
horrible
Oh my God, yep.
relationship that now you can't get out of, because now the male or the female is the alpha. You're not only seeking their validation, but also their financial stability.
Yep.
Because you have
my God,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? And I've seen it in my family, in my
Yep.
own life, of everyone who they're in crazy toxic relationship, but the woman can't leave because she's dependent on the man financially,
Yep.
validation wise, everything wise.
Yep.
Or it's the other way around. The
Yep.
man is still seeking the validation of the woman financially, everything as well. So it's like, in your 20s, be you. Do
Be
what you want to
selfish.
do. Yeah, be selfish.
Be
Do what you do.
selfish.
Yeah,
and it's
be
not
selfish.
bad. It's not a bad thing.
Being selfish is the greatest blessing you can do for your future partner and for yourself right
Yep.
now. Because when you realize who you want to become, what you want to be,
And what you
exactly
value,
what you value,
and
exactly,
your morals.
exactly, then you already have yourself. You are
And once you know yourself,
Exactly.
you attract people.
exactly,
that are,
and then you can start going on dates and figure out, this is not what I like in a woman.
Right.
This is what I like in a woman.
Right.
This is what I want in a relationship. This is what I'm going to bring to a relationship. I know what I bring.
right.
What are you gonna bring? You know what I mean? Like type of constant is what
Right.
is going on in the
And
situation.
with that being said, Nessa, thank you for coming up and
Yes.
great conversation.
Yeah, great
I learned a lot
conversation.
from you.
You gotta do it again. Gotta do it again.
I loved
Oh,
it.
yeah,
I loved
it was great. It was great.
great.
And we're just gonna close out now.
Yep,
'Cause-
yep.
All right. So if you're stuck at the bottom, there's only one way up, and that's to elevate. Thank you.
About to come up, I run up on anybody, do a show, and I bet they gon' know me. In the shit till I'm lonely, I've been low so sad, I buy to the homie. I'ma turn to a man, fuck all the negative energy, people don't flow with me. I'ma turn to the brand, I'ma go make me some enemies, not being low key. About to come up, I run up on anybody, do a show, and I bet they gon' know me.